Hi folks, this is Steve Hindy with Showing Animals Respect and Kindness. In February 2012, we went down to Colleton County, South Carolina because there was a live pigeon shoot held at the Broxton Bridge Plantation. This is an event where live birds are literally catapulted out of boxes in front of thugs with shotguns that blast away at them, and they call it fun. Being an animal protection organization, we were there to document everything that we could, and we had some run-ins with the Colleton County Sheriff's Department. Now, we were following the law the whole time. We were very carefully following the law. While the pigeon shooters were covering up license plates, they were firing across a road to shoot at our octocopter, and there was one thing after another. But the Sheriff's Department, instead of dealing with the lawbreakers, were instead coming after us, trying to intimidate us and threaten us with arrests for various things. When our octocopter was shot down, they wouldn't conduct an investigation. So we wrote to the Colleton County Sheriff, George Malone. In fact, we sent emails, faxes, letters. We were trying to complain, for one thing, about these two guys. This is a lieutenant, this is a chief deputy. They're the ones who were misleading us on the law, threatening arrests, and this kind of thing. This is Sheriff George Malone, Colleton County Sheriff George Malone. So we sent Sheriff Malone correspondence and got absolutely no response whatsoever. This gets us to thinking we ought to do some digging here and find out what's going on with this Sheriff's Department. And we found things that were so screwy going on down there that we can't even make this stuff up. In 2012, a jury awarded $700,000 in a wrongful death lawsuit after a 2009 incident wherein a Colleton County deputy racing to respond to a burglar alarm without his emergency lights and without a siren slammed head-on into another vehicle. The deputy involved in the accident had 18 moving violations. And so when the jury found for the plaintiffs, Sheriff Malone claimed the deputy hadn't done anything wrong, he didn't know if he would fire him, and the sheriff claimed, now remember, we've got a family here who lost somebody and other family members were injured. Sheriff Malone claimed that his department had an insurance reserve cap of $300,000, and he said that that's all the family was going to get. Not $700,000 that they were awarded, but just $300,000. It gets better. In March 2011, Sheriff Malone's wife got into a fight with the sheriff's administrative assistant, who happens to be a woman. The sheriff's wife was driving along and she saw the sheriff's vehicle and his assistant's vehicle, both county-owned vehicles, parked behind an Arby's. Well, it turned out that the two women got into a skirmish. The sheriff's wife claims that the assistant drove away with the sheriff's wife's hands caught in the car window, while the assistant claims that Mrs. Malone was trying to hit her. According to the report, Mrs. Malone says that she fell and the assistant drove over her leg. Mrs. Malone had to be airlifted to a hospital. There was an investigation, and guess what? No charges were filed against anyone. In September 2011, Sheriff Malone was unhappy with the pace of traffic where he was driving, so he went to pass a number of vehicles on the left and slammed right into a school bus loaded with kids, which was also turning left, which of course just might be why the traffic was moving a little slow. 4 students were sent to the hospital. Gets better. Numerous marked and unmarked Colleton County vehicles then drove out of their jurisdiction in Colleton County with blue lights flashing, went some 17 miles into neighboring Orangeburg County. After that debacle, a local newspaper called the sheriff's controversies unacceptable and said Colleton County residents deserve better. Based on Shark's experience with the sheriff and his deputies, we wholeheartedly agree. In a way, though, this really makes perfect sense, because organized animal abuse, like live pigeon shooting at the Broxton Bridge Plantation, can only occur in a place where corruption is rampant and the norm. A place where good, sound, ethical leadership doesn't allow such nonsense is not going to have a pigeon shoot. Ironically, the motto of the Colleton County Sheriff's Department states, quote, "Our ultimate goal is to do justice, show kindness, and walk humbly with God," unquote. Given the reality of the Colleton County Sheriff's Department, that is quite a statement. This is Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness.